Hello and welcome along to another Roy's Ramble. Let's see how this one goes, and this is going to be fun because we've had internet problems already today, but I would like to welcome along Tina McGrath. So hello Tina, how are you?
Hi Roy, finally here, hopefully working and on message.
We meet at last, which is good. So I'm on my walk from Land's End to John O'Groats, raising money for Restore, which is a mental health charity in Oxford. And it's a little while since I've passed through where you live. I'm now in, I think, Fowey, if that's how you pronounce it. Boy. I always look at it and think it's Fowey, so I apologise.
There are some weird pronunciations in Cornwall.
It's really interesting, the places that I've visited, and I've got, oh, that's a really strange name, so it's good to hear proper pronunciations. As for where you live, how do I pronounce where you live?
Mine's very straightforward. I live in Cornwall Station.
Now, I posted on my blog that I'm doing about this because I wondered why it was called that. Is it just because of the station?
Well, I think so. There is obviously a railway station here, and there is also another village in Cornwall called Cornwall. So whether they decided there are in Cornwall, there are several villages that are called. So you have a St Just on the Roseland and a St Just in Penzance, and so I'm not sure if Cornwall was, well, we can't call it Cornwall, so we'll call it Cornwall Station. I mean, there has been a railway station here for quite a long time, so I imagine possibly that is the reason, but I don't really know.
So for you, why Cornwall? Why are you in Cornwall? Is it somewhere that you've been all your life, or is it just that Cornwall was where you gravitated to?
No, originally about 8 years ago, my husband and I moved down from Herefordshire, and because he had a job in Cornwall, and it was somewhere that we always wanted eventually to end up. He's Scottish, so he's come completely as far as in the country as he can go now. So unless we go to the Isles of Scilly, which is probably not. And we moved to Falmouth originally because we loved the town, and we bought a very tumbled down bed and breakfast that we wanted to convert into a house. And so the reason was upsticks move. We were both working in public sector in Herefordshire at the time, and I was involved in a lot of children's services work where all the government cuts were coming in, and it was everything we built up around early intervention and early help was just being decimated. So it was soul destroying to keep making people redundant and seeing everything that the good work that we developed. So it was like, I need to get away and I need to have a break. So we moved to Cornwall. I didn't have a job, and the idea then was set up my own coaching business because that's what I always wanted to do. But with fate, things never quite work out exactly how they're going to work. 6 weeks into the new job, my husband hated it, and we're like, oh my goodness, what have we done? We've upsticked, we've moved to Cornwall, we don't know anybody, what's going to happen. So, in good coaching style, I packed up a picnic, we went to the beach, and I said to my husband, right, well, what are we going to do then? Because you hate the job, we love where we're living, and I tend to always look at life as what's the worst thing that can happen rather than trying to, so we thought, right, okay, worst thing that's can happen, we do have enough money to do the house up. It might not be how we want it, but if we have to move, we have to move. We'll both dip our toe into sort of contracting work. And so that's what we did for about 5 years. And we fell in love with this village because it is literally slap bang between Truro and Falmouth. It's still very accessible completely with the train line and everything and all of that. But, I'm looking out the window now, all I can see is green fields and countryside, and I love it. So we moved here, and then I thought, right, this is the time now to sort of launch. Although the coaching business had been there, it was in the background and it was additional to doing extra work. So I thought, I love being outdoors, I love the countryside, I love being by the sea as well. This is the time now with moving to actually step into doing Cornwall coaching. So that's what I did.
And what I absolutely love about your job, and I've seen it on your website as well, is the fact that you get out, which was one of my main purposes for doing this walk as well, was that fact of getting out there and showing people the wonders of nature and how that can benefit our mental health as well. And you do, I'm just going to check this, you've got this as walk and talk, that's right, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So because of my love of outdoors and my love of coaching, I decided that that wherever possible, all of my sessions would be outside, because like you've just said, it really frees your mind. You become creative. And when you're walking alongside somebody and having a talk is far more better than sitting in, even like we are now face to face. You can just feel freer, and the creative mind works, and things just offload, and it just grows great. I was aware when you launch a business, there's all these networking events, you must go to these things and you must sell yourself and do your pitch. And I hated it, absolutely hated it. And I just thought, well, there are a lot of people probably similar to me, particularly this focus is for women who are running their own businesses, who are actually quite lonely, but don't want to keep pitching. But actually, we can meet up. So first Monday of every month, unfortunately, we can't at the moment because I managed to get January's in, which was really great. We meet up in Truro in small groups, and we have a topic that we talk about, and we go for a walk. And we talk about it. There's no pressure for anybody to sell themselves. But what actually the feedback I'm getting now is people are realising that everybody else is in a similar position, and they think it's just them. It takes me back to when I had my children. You went to mother and toddler groups, and you realise that only it wasn't just your child that behaved like that. Everybody else behaved like that, and there's that sense of, oh, it's not just me, and that's what I'm finding from these events. It's just an hour. We then, we grab a coffee and sit outside, and then everybody gets to take home a little postcard, a motivational postcard, and they write their goal for the month on it, on what they want to focus on. And then we come back and we think, did it work? Did it not work? And then we have another topic that we talk about again. And it's been really, really useful, particularly with lockdown and COVID and everybody feeling quite isolated, to be able to get outside and just talk to other people around it. It's just been really useful.
And picking up on something there as well, it's made me think of my own mental health story that I had, which what still have, of course, which was that feeling of being alone with it. And when I was first diagnosed, it was very much, it's me. Oh, I've got this, and nobody else will understand at all. And it isn't until you work with a coach or you start meeting up with other people from, again, places like Restore, and I'm sure you've got other places down in Cornwall similar, where you just sort of go, oh, actually, there are other people who are going through this. It isn't just me. It's not an anomaly, actually.
Yeah, but you do feel like that, don't you? You just feel, well, it's only me. I'm the only one who's going through all of this, and it's really hard. I mean, my daughter, is suffering at the moment, and she's linked with a peer, very similar. And she just said it's just great to just talk to somebody else who's been through it, and even though it's not exactly the same, you really do get that comfort from the fact that I'm not alone. And I think during those dark times, that is also something to pull on to be stronger, that you do know that you're not alone and that there are other people. And you're not the green-eyed monster sitting in the corner, and there are lots of people that feel like you do as well. So yeah.
And obviously that's your side of the business, is helping people through that. What about you? How do you look after your own mental health and well-being?
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to say it's going outdoors, isn't it? Because it is. It's just, I do feel, and I recognise if I haven't been out, for one day, or if the weather's been really bad, and you think, I start to get grumpy and I start to get a bit emotional, and it's like, oh, what's up with me? And my husband's like, just go for a walk, will you? And I'm like, and I get out, and that is exactly, the thing that I need, that supports me, and I realise I feel so much better. I think, just when this lockdown happened, I think I think it's affected quite a lot of people. I think the January effect anyway is, and I don't know about you, but listening to it, and then when the MP started saying February half term, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, that seemed ages away, and now they're talking end of March and things like that. And I really think, for me, I had a lot planned January, February. I've got a birthday coming up, and it was all these things, and then suddenly, all of that stopped. So it's been really harder, I think, this time to dig deep and actually try and, look after yourself. I use quite a lot with my clients and around Stephen Covey's circle of influence.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very much about what can you control and what can you influence, because I think we can waste a lot of negative energy on all of those bigger things that we can't control, and those aren't, they're not good for you. So actually what you can control is quite small, but actually those are the things you need to focus on, and that's about exercise, eating well, looking after yourself, and not feeling guilty about sitting in and reading a book or doing something and not feeling, oh, I've got to go and do this, I've got to do that. I think we're very good, all of us, at beating ourselves up about not doing things, rather than actually taking that time to stop and just look after yourself, whether that's reading a book, whether that's washing, are really important, and reaching out to other people as well when you're not okay. And I think that's another hard thing for people to do. And I think
Absolutely.
it's really...
And last year, when the lockdown started, I vowed last year to do more reading anyway. But when the lockdown came, that was it. I read, and I think I posted on my website the other day in one of my blogs about, I think it was 25 books that I read last year, which for some people might not be much, but part of that was sort of the whole Harry Potter series, which in itself is a lot of pages. But I read lots of different books. And from that, apart from the escaping into another world completely, you're also learning as well if you're reading some non-fiction books.
Yes, absolutely.
And that can be so beneficial to you, can't it? So
yes, it does. And it's allowing yourself that, and not feeling guilty about allowing that, for you to be doing that. And I think the one thing I found, particularly, with the lockdown and all of last year and probably into this year, it's given people forced time, forced reflection time. Particularly a lot of my clients have said, well, I don't want to go back to doing what I was doing, or this has actually given me the time, get off that hamster wheel, get off the churning. And sometimes I think we do that and make ourselves busy so we don't have to think. So that brain, that brings all those emotions forward, you just push it back in the filing cabinet and out the way, and without anything else, that the brain's an amazing thing, and suddenly it will go, out you come, and it comes straight into the front of your head, and you have to deal with it. And I think that's what's happened during this time. People have stopped. If they've been busy running their own businesses and the businesses have stopped, they've actually, the number of people have said to me with children, oh God, this is great. We're really enjoying spending time with our children and our family, because we don't do it because we're so busy working. And now I don't want to go back to that. So I think, it has given opportunities. I think there's a lot of opportunities there, but sometimes people just need that help and support to think it through, which is what I do. I just I say I'm not there to give you the answers. I'm not there to tell you what to do. If you don't do it, it doesn't bother me at the end of the day, because if you want to change, you're the only person that can do it, and you have to change from within. But what I can be is that person on your shoulder, sort of bringing you into action, and allowing. Quite a lot of my my clients have said, well, I can't believe I'm telling you all of this, and why am I telling you this? And it's just because it just gives you that opportunity to pour out stuff, and all the stuff that's been going around in your head and thinking that you might want to do, but you don't want to verbalize it. Because another thing I say as well is, when you want to do something, or when you're trying to make a decision, you usually ask your friends, families, loved ones what to do, and they'll tell you what to do, and that's not the right thing, because you need to come up with that decision yourself. So that's where the benefits of having a coach or anything like that is, that you can explore all those things without having the pressure of somebody telling you what to do.
It is that thing of having somebody that is just sort of one step removed, isn't it? It does help. rather than, like you say, those people that are just a bit too close
Yes.
and think
Yeah.
they know what should be done.
Yeah. That's right, and they do it all for the right reasons, because they love you and because they want to help you. But I know nothing about a client. I don't need to know anything about anything, and that's the blank sheet that you start with, and that's what's so exciting. And the real buzz that I get when I feel, that light bulb goes on in somebody's head and goes, oh my goodness, well, I could do that, couldn't I? Or I could do that. And you suddenly, and that is just the most amazing feeling when you see people just sort it all out in their head, and then they've got, right, this is the way I'm going, and this is what, with real conviction and confidence. It's
And
brilliant.
often almost like a weight's lifted. You just all see that breath just go, don't you? And release. So this is, obviously, you said all about the business there, which is wonderful as well. But this is your chance to plug what the business is, who you are, because obviously I know that we're based here in the wonderful landlocked county of Oxford, but the walk is taking me across the country, and we don't know who will watch this on the channel. So please do say who you are and where you're based and everything like that.
Thank you. So my name is Tina McGrath, and my company is called Cornwall Coaching Limited, and I am based in the beautiful county of Cornwall, which is lovely and just seems to be featured on every television show at the moment. I'm not quite sure why, but every time I turn it on, somebody's doing a programme about Cornwall. So hopefully wherever you are in the world, you've seen one of those, and you recognise how beautiful and special our county is. And I've been a life coach for over 20 years, mainly working in employed sector, but now for the last sort of real 5 years, very seriously on my own, working on my own and supporting clients who really are at that crossroads in their life and not sure where they want to go. Could be a career move, it could be a redundancy, it could be a personal thing in their life that they want to change, but they can't quite know what it is they want to do, how they want to do it, or what the outcomes might be. So what I say is I help you be the person you've always wanted to be. So that person that's in the back of your head that you think, oh God, I wish I could do this or I could do that. I can help you work that through and get to where you want to be. And because I live in such a beautiful county, I do hold my sessions outdoors. So when a client gets in contact with me, although at the moment I'm having to do through this wonderful technology of Zoom, but hopefully not much longer, I say, have you got a favourite place that you go for a walk? And oh yeah, well I normally do the coast path, or I've got a woods that I want to go in. Right, okay, so I'll meet you there. So they're comfortable because they know where they are, they're familiar with their surroundings, and we just go for a walk. We just go for a walk and we talk, and 90%, I guess, of mine is listening. Yes. And listening to what people aren't saying. And then I'll probably come in with a real killer question that will make you think, oh, okay, where did that come from? And then you start again on it. So for an example, I had a client that was really struggling with time management, always busy, everybody, I can't cope, I need to help you need to help me sort out what I'm doing, how I manage my time, and all of these things. So I sit and I listen, and then probably 3/4 of an hour into it, I go, okay, so when was the last time you said no to somebody? And she stopped and she thought and she went, oh, that's it, isn't it? It's not that I'm so busy, it's I can't say no. So then you start another journey around how can you effectively say no, because that's something we all struggle with, I think, to actually say no to somebody. So that's what I do. I take people on a walk, we have a nice chat, but we always end up with an action and a goal for them to move forward at the end of the day. So if anybody wants to come for a walk, get in contact.
And if they want to, how can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, we can go through my website, which is cornwallcoaching.co.uk. Very simple.
Nice and easy. I like that.
Yeah, or they can email me, which is tina@cornwallcoaching.co.uk. So very easy, very simple. Check my website out. There's a contact us on there, and what I offer is a free initial, whether it's a Zoom call or whatever, just get to know each other, because the important thing is that we both know that we can work together. As a client, you need to be able to work with me, but I need to be able to know that I'm the right person for you. For example, a lot of people get quite confused between coaching and counselling, and I'm not a counsellor. And so people will contact me sometimes and I'll go, well, I don't think that coaching is the right thing for you. I think it's, I will refer people, who I know that I think is the right thing for them. And I think that's a really important thing, because, people can just say, oh, yeah, I'll do that. And it's not about the money. It's not about the client. It's about, it's definitely about the right thing. So you have to have that connection. You have to be able to trust each other. And if it doesn't work, then, you have to be both saying, oh, I don't think this is right. So I think that's really important as well.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Before you go, I want to ask you what you think are the 3 best things about Cornwall in the area that you live in.
Okay. So Cornwall, I think, you're obviously never far away from the sea because we're in the peninsula, but I think for me it's the countryside as well, so you can have the best of both worlds. So definitely the environment, which makes you feel so great. The people are just so friendly. When we first moved to Cornwall, you can't walk down the road without somebody saying hello to you, or what's on, or all right, or all of these things. And when you move away, or you go like I did when you went back up to London and work and all that and everything, and nobody talks to anybody and nobody says hello, literally whenever you're walking down the road, everybody will say hello. So I think the people definitely are. And the food is just amazing, and there's just so much lovely restaurants, lovely, and you have to have jam first on your scone, so you have to get that right. Even though I shouldn't really admit it, but I am Devonshire. I was born in Devon, but I feel I'm in a Cornwall now. I feel I'm home. So those are the 3 things: the food, the environment, and the people. You can't ask to be in a better place.
I just want to move down there now.
Oh, do. A lot of people are. The housing market at the moment is just it's all those television programmes. Everybody wants to move to. I mean, it does get busy in the summer and in the holiday season. It does get busy, but when you live here, you accept that. You know that Cornwall needs the tourist business, but there are lots of places where we could go that tourists don't go. So, you avoid the busier places when the tourists are here. But we need it. It's a county of big divides. There's a lot of poverty and a lot of deprivation in Cornwall. And there's also a lot of wealth. So we do need, tourism, and we need that money to be able to come in to support those areas. So I'm not anti-emmets, as they all call them. So if you come to Cornwall, you're an emmet if you're on holiday. But I'm, definitely not. We need them.
Wonderful. Well, if you thought that was tricky, that question, I've got one more for you.
Okay.
I promise you this will be the last, unless you throw something at me where I think I need to ask another one. But this last one I've got written down, which is, if you could give one piece of well-being, mental health advice to people to take away with them from this, what would your one overarching piece of advice be?
I think it's going back to what I was saying about that circle of influence. It's about control. It's even, taking a piece of paper and a pen and actually starting to write down, what is it I can control and what is it I can influence in my life, and what can't I? And once, I'm a great visual person. I like to draw things or write things down. And once you've got those things about what I can't control, what the government are doing, I can't control, but what I can do is I can go for a walk, I can look after myself, I can contact that friend, I can do all of those things. So I think for me, and that's almost a visual reminder when you've got those, because we all get those, and it's like, right, I'm switching the news off, I'm switching social media off. Those are all the things you can control that then will, that you recognise negatively impact on you. And if you can control those, then the positive things will outweigh the negative things. So that's my one big piece of advice, definitely.
And what a lovely way to end. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh, bye.
That was Tina McGrath, who is a life coach in Cornwall. And if you'd like more information about what Tina does, then please visit her website, cornwallcoaching.co.uk. I'm doing my Land's End to John O'Groats walk in aid of Restore, a mental health charity in Oxford. If you'd like to donate, please do so by visiting the link below. You can also look on my website roypeach.com/ramble for all the latest updates and perhaps follow me along the route.